The Platt Amendment was a treaty drawn up at the end of the Spanish-American War in 1898. It was passed in 1901, and it basically set guidelines for U.S.-Cuban relations, and it allowed the United States to have influence over Cuba even once they gained their independence. It was a sequel to the Teller Amendment, which was passed a little bit before, and it prevented Cuba from transferring any of its land to another country other than the U.S. It limited Cuba's right to negotiate treaties, and it allowed the United States to have a naval base in Cuba. The historical context would be the Cuban War of Independence, fought for Cuba's independence from Spain between 1895 and 98, and that escalated into the Spanish-American War as America wanted to protect both their economic and political interests in Cuba. And then the Teller Amendment was an agreement clause by the U.S. saying that they would not annex Cuba, but they would help them gain their independence, and then they would withdraw their troops from the country. The audience, the people most impacted by the Platt Amendment, were the Cubans and the Cuban government. Associated as well were the United States and their government as well. But the Cubans did not like this amendment, as they saw it as an infringement on their sovereignty because the United States still had involvement once they gained independence, and they resented this amendment. The government of Cuba had to agree to it before the U.S. would withdraw their military forces. The point of view of the Platt Amendment, of who supported and who were against the amendment, was that the United States was in favor. They proposed it and they drew it up because they wanted to maintain the degree of control in Cuba to protect their interests economically and politically in the state. And the Cubans and Cuban government were against the amendment as it took away the rights or some freedoms of the country, and foreign affairs and treaties had to be overseen by the U.S., and it took away their flexibility of a new independent country. The purpose of the Platt Amendment was so that the United States could protect all that they had invested into the country of Cuba, and it gave a lot of power to the United States over Cuban affairs and various treaties. The significance of the Platt Amendment would be that it set the stage for future foreign policy and relations between Cuba and America, because there was tension between both countries regarding this amendment.
America, we need to talk. Oh hey dude, how's it going? Look, it's been 3 years since the Spanish-American War. Yeah, the war in which I helped you get from under the control of Spain, who's profiting greatly from your natural resources. By the way, you remind me a lot of my younger days. Fighting for independence, becoming independent, those were the good days. Yeah, look, I don't have time to sit here and listen to you reminisce on your independence. It's been 3 years and your military is still here. Yeah? What about it? I'd like it if you left. Are you kicking me out? Yes.